Stop being exploited. Are you so ready to stop being exploited and know how to handle difficult people? In this video, we're going to uncover the strategies to stop being exploited, stop feeling used, stop feeling abused. There's difficult people everywhere in the world, and dealing with difficult people can be a challenge that we all have to face. But here's the good news. I've got your back. We all do right here in this community, and start feeling it like you can have some of that mojo back. I'm going to just tell you, you've got to put this invisible boundary, this invisible Teflon down around you, where you're just basically, you got to put water off your back, because they're bad juju off your back, because they're going to be sending it to you, and you've got to be like Superman with the bullets off of you, or Wonder Woman with the gold bracelets where that bad juju is coming off of you, because they're going to send it no matter what. Imagine you're sitting in that team meeting and there's that one colleague who just always finds that one thing to nitpick about, that one thing, your ideas. How do you handle that? Instead of, feeling like, you know what? I'm so sick of this person. Like every single time I've got the idea, they've got to shoot it down. They've got something to say, or maybe they're trying to line up other team members against you, or you just know that they're talking about you behind your back, or something is going on. You just feel it, right? Sometimes you just kind of feel it in your gut. And maybe they actually even used to be your friend, but now they're starting to look at you as somebody who's competition, somebody who's competing for that one same job that you're competing for, right? How do you deal with that? Well, maybe you can redirect the conversation back to that main point. Maybe you can just stand in your zone. Stand in your zone. Just go, that's not what we're talking about today. Today is, what is on the agenda today is this. Whatever you say it with authority, say it with confidence, stand in your power. That is what is important. The person who actually speaks with the most authority, the most confidence, is the person who gets the most attention, is the person who gets the most done. This is not only showcasing your confidence, but it also keeps the conversation on track. Example number 2 is you're in a family gathering. And by the way, you cannot control what other people are going to do. What you can control is your response to it. So just, observe, don't absorb, right? Observe, don't absorb. So consider it like when you're in a family gathering and that one relative just never misses that chance to belittle you. And instead of internalizing their negativity or retaliating, just employ neutral statements. You can just say things like, that's an interesting perspective. Or you can even say things like, that's really great feedback. Thank you. Just remember that by not giving them a reaction, like the reaction that they're seeking, you're reclaiming your power. You can even observe their behavior to them. Something like, I can see that you're angry. I can see that you're upset. You're actually starting to just see them almost as if they're a toddler having a tantrum on the floor. Basically, just not even part of it. That's their hurricane that's happening. It's their vortex of craziness that's happening. It doesn't have anything to do with you. Remember that other people's triggers don't have anything to do with you. It doesn't have anything to do with what's happening with you. If you're new here and you haven't subscribed to this channel, make sure you do that now, because in this community, we're here to support each other. And you're going to need extra support when you're dealing with difficult people like this. So if you haven't subscribed, make sure you do that now. Subscribe, hit that notification bell. And if you haven't gotten my free phrases for disarming narcissists, that'll help you navigate these tricky waters. You can get those at disarmthenarc.com. So make sure you get those too. So let's talk about friendships. Friendships. So we talked about the office people or the people that you might be working with. And that applies, by the way, if you're dealing with them as clients. I've had to deal with them as clients, or even your boss or whatever. And we've talked about them if you're dealing with them as a family member. Now, how do you deal with your friends, right? So this can be really hard. It can be a betrayal a lot of times when you think that a person is your friend. And I've been right there. I've been right there where, you think this person who you've told everything to, you think that person is always going to have your back. And they even say, anything for you. I'm here for you. I've got your back. Anything can shift. Things can shift in the wind. Because especially when one friend ends up, becoming, having more, doing more, or things shift where maybe one gets a boyfriend and the other one doesn't have that. One loses a lot of weight, the other one doesn't, where things will shift so that the friendship no longer has something that held it together in the same way. When that shifts the power or shifts the way that the friendship once was, then it can really change what the dynamics are in that particular friendship. Or sometimes people cross boundaries in friendships. Maybe it was a friendship that was based on people being platonic, and somebody crossed a sexual boundary when they shouldn't have, or something like that. Or maybe it was money. Somebody borrowed money from each other, and so somebody crosses boundaries when they shouldn't have. Whatever it is, when feelings start to get hurt and things start to shift, you have to be the one who politely but firmly knows your limits and is okay with saying, hey, I love you, I respect you, and I respect you so much that I'm going to let you know that this is not something that works for me. This approach does not work for me. This is beyond the bounds of the limitations of my friendship. And I want to continue our friendship, but not in the way that you're looking to redefine it. You can just straight up say it. And if it doesn't work for that other person, then, you're going to have to be okay with that. And they're going to have to be okay with that. Because if you don't, then what happens is you start to build resentment. And then that no longer works for you either. And eventually it all ends up coming out. You think that you are keeping the peace, but keeping the peace never ends up being peaceful. Let me just say that again. Keeping the peace never ends up being peaceful. It ends up coming out on the tail end somewhere. And that tail end, when that whips around, is so much worse than if you just are straight up about it and in integrity in the first place. So just straight up say, if they're coming over all the time, I really need my alone time. I would prefer to spend time with you at other times when it works for me. I love you, but let's find a time that works for me. Just be straight up about it. It really is so much better in the long run than if you just don't communicate about it. It really is. It can work wonders. If you try any conversation that is delayed because you think that anything is going to go away, and this goes for narcissists too, by the way. When you think, oh, it's going to get better, I'm not going to have this conversation right now, it never gets better. It just doesn't. And if you agree with me, put an agree in the chat. Put an agree in the chat. And I would love to see what you think in the comments as well. All right. So remember, it's not just about avoiding confrontations, but navigating them with grace and your self-assuredness and your understanding of who you are and standing in your power, right? And as the author of the USA Today best-selling book, Slay the Bully, How to Negotiate with a Narcissist and Win, I have really delved into these dynamics, and I've done research on it, and I've been a lawyer for more than 20 years. And I really have had the opportunity to see difficult people up close and personal. So I do know, I've seen it, unfortunately, way too much. So if you found value in this video, make sure that you like this video, make sure that you share it out with people so that other people who need to hear this message, they get an opportunity to do that. They get an opportunity to also learn from this as well. And the next video that I want you to watch is decoding the manipulative phrases that narcissists say. So it's decoding manipulative phrases, protecting yourself from narcissists, decoding manipulative phrases that narcissists say, protecting yourself from narcissists. And I'm so glad that you were here today. I'm so glad that you stopped by. If you haven't already, subscribe, hit that notification bell. And until next time, stand tall, stand powerful. Remember to communicate confidently. Remember that you have the power to shape every conversation in your life. You are amazing. You are powerful. You are a shining star, and you've got this. And together we can conquer every conversation. All right. So stay empowered, and I will see you in that next video.